Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing VWAP, ultimate VWAP-powered expert advisor for the MT5 platform. Whether you chasing those breakouts or riding that trend or looking for those next big reversals, VWAP is your ticket to smarter crypto and Forex trading. So stick around because I'm going to show you exactly how this trading bot works, and I'm going to be taking you some of the results. Let's dive in. All right, so I'm in my BYBIT MT5 platform, but it will work on any type of MT5 broker. So I just like using BYBIT because I could trade both crypto and Forex, but this EA will work on any MT5 broker. So let's first go into our backtest. Normally I'll start with the input parameters first, but today let's have a look at the backtest first, and then we could go through the input parameters afterwards. So the first backtest I'm going to be doing is for the EUR/USD. I'm just going to run two tonight. I'll show you the results I get for EUR/USD and the results I get for Bitcoin. Let's open up. I'm going to load the EUR/USD set file. Once again, the set files are available in the comments section from the MKR5 website. You can get to the MKR5 website. There's a link down below. You can download the software for free. You can test it out. You can run it in your demo account. You can run backtests. You can run optimizations. All right, so let's first open up our EUR/USD set file. I'm going to run it with visualization mode on because I just want to show you what I've done. So the VWAP itself, it stands for volume weighted average price. So what it does, it takes the volume and it calculates an average price based on volume and based on price movement over a certain period, and it comes up with a VWAP price. Now, as you can see here at the top here, I don't have actually a VWAP indicator. I have just done the calculations within the EA itself, but you can see the current VWAP price there. And when you see it says inactive due to trading times, is because this EA allows you to set which days you want to trade on and which hours you want to trade. So that's why it says inactive due to trading times, because when it's not active, it's not calculating, when it's not trading, it's not calculating the VWAP. And the theory behind the VWAP is that if the price, the current price, is above the VWAP price, or call it the current VWAP, we're in a bullish momentum. If the price, the current price, is below the VWAP, you're looking for a bullish move. So that is the basic principle of the VWAP. So it can be used as both a trend following indicator and a breakout indicator. All right, so we have run our, and then I'll also show you other ways that you can use it as a reversal indicator once we get into the input parameters. But we have run our backtest for the EUR/USD. So we have $300 initial deposit. We made $102, so about 30%. And I'm backtesting from August 2024, the 27th of August 2024 to today. So it's about 4 or 5 months worth of backtest data. Unfortunately, that's all the reliable test data that we do have in BYBIT, but I think it's more than sufficient to test these strategies out. And you can see here that we have about a 3% drawdown. And when you're looking at drawdowns, you need to take all of these figures into account. I will do a video on what to look for when buying EAs, but all of these figures should be about the 3 or 4%. That means you know that it's not your risk management is set up correctly. Yeah, you can see it has a 94% win ratio, and you can see it has a 14-to-1 win-loss, and the drawdown is only between 3 and 4%, and we made 30% in the 4 months of trading. So, people just say you can make a lot more. Yes, you can make a lot more, but you need to find that balance between making the right amount of money and having the right amount of risk. Because if you're running 10 of these strategies, and all of them start losing, and you risking 10-20% of your portfolio each trade, you can get wiped out. So I like to keep my drawdowns to about 3 to 4%. Anything less than 5% is decent, and make about 30 to 40%, so 10% per month basically that you're making. So fairly decent results in the EURUSD. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my Bitcoin set, the gold set as well. Maybe we've got time to do that. So a Bitcoin set. I will take you through the input parameters shortly when I go through the input parameters and show you the exact strategies that I am using based on the VWAP. I'm just going to run the Bitcoin backtest. I'm not going to run it in the visual mode. I'm just going to run it. And we can see due to the low amount of money that I do have in my, sorry, I didn't change my currency to Bitcoin. Let me just change that quickly. There we go, and run that quickly. And this VWAP strategies generally tend to work better on assets or instruments that have higher volume than the instruments that don't have volume. Okay, so that is the Bitcoin backtest. Very nice equity curve. Looks a lot better than the Forex one, the EURUSD, because this is a high volume instrument. So VWAP strategy tends to work much better on things like Bitcoin. If you look at the back test, the initial deposit was 300, made about over 100, maybe 120%, just over 120%, and the drawdown is only 5%, 5 to 6%. So good results with a very small drawdown, and you can see our win ratio is 75%, and we have 5 wins to 2 consecutive losses. So quite a promising strategy. So that is the backtest. Actually, let's just run one more. We're going to run the gold. Load the gold set file. And we're going to go to settings. We're going to change this to gold. Gold. Let's run that. Also see very nice equity curve, and based on backtest results, we sold with 300, just under 100% profit. Our drawdown is around 7%, not bad, and it's a 74% win ratio, so it's a 4 to 1 wins to losses. So also fairly decent strategy. I'll run all three together and keep my risk as low as possible. All right, so that is it for the backtesting. Let's go look at the input parameters. So the first one is we have a trade comment. I like to use a trade comment to identify the trade. So if you're running this EA on, or this trading bot on multiple charts, you want to identify which one has actually made the trade, because you're not actually sitting looking at your computer, but when you come and look at your history, you want to know which one's actually traded. So try and keep it a name that you know that if this is the EA that was run with the V-Wave, what strategy you're using, and then what instrument you're trading, and then what time frame. That's just sort of like something I do so that I know I can identify which ones are doing well, which ones are doing badly, etc., etc. Yeah, magic number. A magic number is your unique number. It's a way of identifying that that EA on a particular chart. So you know that all actions will be done against that EA. Because if you're running on the same, if you're running 5 different gold strategies, if you don't have a unique number for each one, it could actually close all the trades or open trades in different charts. It could get a bit messy. So the general rule is that if you've got an expert advisor running and it's the same EA that you're using, use a different EA magic number for each time you add it to a chart. Okay, print log is just a journal. It prints out this information over here. See, there's a whole bunch of information that gets printed out. It's just for debugging purposes, so you know what's happening. If something fails, you could go back and see why it failed. You can either turn that on or off. It's up to you. Maximum number of buys and sells. So, if you want to have it to open more than one position at a time, so what could happen is that, it's still in a position and the buy entry will happen again. It would open up another trade. So you could decide how many how many trades, buy and sell, that you want to open at the same time. Close opposite position. This is pretty self-explanatory, but what it means is that if you've got a buy trade happening and a sell trade is about to enter, it will first check, do you have any opposite trades open, and it will close all those opposite trades. And it's vice versa. So if you've got a buy trade open and it's about to go into a sell trade, it will close that buy trade. So it's up to you whether you want to turn that off or not, or leave it running. Sometimes it's nice to use it if you don't actually want to use a stop loss and you want to rely on indicators to close the trade, then you can actually set that to true or false. Next up is trade on new bar. I always leave this at true, but if you want to do some intra-bar trading, like have multiple positions open on a single bar, then you will set that to false. Else what it will do is that it will wait for a new bar to open, evaluate the previous bar, and open a trade. Okay, this is the money management section. You've got your basic, stop loss, take profit. You've got trading stop options. Yeah, you've got your risk management. So either that you could risk a percentage of your free margin. So in this case, I'm risking 1%. But you could choose what you want to risk, either 1%, 2%, and if you want to use a fixed lot, you'll put the fixed lot over there, and then you'll change this amount here to be your fixed lot. I like to just keep it on risk as a percentage, because then I know I don't need to update the algo if it does get more and more profitable, and it will start betting more and more, and will increase the lot size more and more, and I don't have to go and change it and redo it. Maximum lot size, that just explains that, if you don't want to risk more than 1 or 2, whatever the lot size is, the maximum lot size you're actually willing to go, you could put that in the maximum lot size figure. And slippage, we don't really use this very often, but if there is slippage issues, you can set your slippage limit. Okay, so now we're coming to the core of the functionality, the VWAP settings. The VWAP settings is always set to on. So you'll always be using the VWAP indicator or the VWAP calculations, but you could then choose which of these other 3 indicators you want to use it with it. Okay, so the VWAP, all you can really set is which period for calculating. How many candles back do you want to use to calculate your VWAP? Okay, and then now we have moving averages. I always like to have moving averages. It's great for trend, great for recognizing trend. And then you've got a couple of options when choosing moving average. You've got an MA crossover, which is self-explanatory, when the fast MA crosses over the slow MA. You've got your MA trend. You've got your price crosses. So the price was below the slow moving average before, and then the next bar, it was above the slow moving average, it will look for a buy entry. And then you've got either your price is above or below the slow moving average, and that is also sort of like to check your trend. So if you know that your price is above the 200-day moving average, you're in sort of like a bull trend. Okay, so now how you use the moving averages with the VWAP is that you could either use it as a trend following strategy. So you could say, is the price above 200-day moving average, and the VWAP current price is above the VWAP price, and you'll enter long trade. That's a trend following strategy. And vice versa for selling, you could use the crossover strategy. So you could check, is the price above the VWAP? If the price is above the VWAP and the slow moving average crosses above the fast moving average crosses above the slow moving average, that's a sort of like a breakout strategy where the trend changes and it starts breaking out above. Vice versa for the crossing down. Then we have just your periods, and then also you could use different time frames. So you could look at the time frame on the 4-hour chart and be trading the 1-minute chart for the VWAP. The VWAP is always linked to the current chart or the current time frame, but you could actually look at higher time frames when it comes to the moving averages and the Fibonacci levels. Okay, the next thing, we have our Fibonacci levels. We are only using Fibonacci in this strategy. We are only using Fibonacci for reversals. So the theory is that if the price is below the 23.6 Fibonacci, you'll look for a buy. If the price is above the 61.8 Fibonacci level, you look for a sell. So using that with a VWAP is that if the price is below the 23.6 and the price is above the VWAP, it will look for buy entry. If the price is above the 61.8 and the price is below the VWAP, it will look for sell entry. And then also you could check how many bars you want your Fibonacci levels to be created, and also which time frame you want your Fibonacci levels on. And the last setting is the IBS settings. Now this has got nothing to do with colons, but the IBS stands for internal bar strength. So how that works is that generally it's used as a mean reversion strategy. So if your bar strength is below 0.2, it will look for a buy signal, very similar to the strategy used with Fibber. And if your IBS is above 0.8, it will look for sell signal. So using that with the VWAP, so you look for if the value is below 0.2 and your VWAP is above, and your price is above the VWAP, it will look for a buy entry. If your IBS is above 0.8 and your price is below the VWAP, it will look for a sell entry. I also have the option to reverse the IBS signal. So this is another breakout or trend following strategy, where that if the price drops, if the price drops below the VWAP and the IBS is less than 0.2, it will look for a sell, almost the reverse of what we did before. And if your price is above the VWAP and your IBS is above 0.8, it will look for buy. So that's sort of like a trend following or a breakout type strategy. And the last section that we have is trading time. So sometimes you find that instruments trade better during certain times. Sometimes the volume is higher during certain periods. And also you can set which days you want to trade. So if you only want to trade on Mondays, look at the back test over here, you can see there's like, looks like Wednesday is more profitable. You could actually only trade, if you want to only trade on Wednesday, and you can see here we're only trading between 1800 and I think it's like 2200. So if you want to say you only want to trade between these 2 hours because these are the most profitable times due to that you got from backtesting, you could trade between certain times. All right, so that is it for the inputs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for the lengthy video, but there was a lot of things I needed to cover. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please like, subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.